So there have been a lot of questions recently on our GroupMe about funding and how it's going to work now that everyone's at the level of a STAMP scholar. So I thought I would make this video to explain how it works. So at the very beginning, Georgia Tech sets a cost of attendance, and this is on the financial aid website, and you can access it if you want to. This is going to include books, fees, tuition, meals, housing, and personal expense money. So this number gets sent to the President's Scholarship Office, and from there, that's the same number that the office will send to your Bursars account, saying that's how much money you should be receiving your scholarship. For in-state students, this is $14,926, and for out-of-state students, it's right about $25,000. So after that money goes in, Georgia Tech then comes in and takes out money depending on your situation. So for everyone, it will take out tuition and fees. And depending on where you're living and what meal plan you may or may not be on, Georgia Tech will also take that money out. The remainder of the money will go straight to you. So for example, for me, I'm living in North Ave and I'm on a partial meal plan. So this number coming out is going to be equal to the sum of my personal expenses and books, which is $2,000, plus the remainder left over from my meal plan, which is about $300. So this number for me will be about $2,300. However, if you're someone who's living off campus, the number coming out will be much higher, closer to $7,000 or $8,000. So one of the questions that I hear a lot is, what happens to the money when it gets sent to you? Do they check it? Do they see what you're spending it on? And the answer in short is no. So that number that Georgia sets as your cost of attendance is how much it thinks you should be spending on each thing. However, if you spend less money on an item than what you're expected to, then that money gets pocketed. The main way this will come out is going to be in personal expenses. So you can spend that, in essence, on whatever you want to. It's not checked by the office.
Anything.
As Jack said, you can spend it on anything that you want to. So the next big question is when. So what is the timeline for all this? How is it going to happen? So the SPS office is going to request for those funds to be released into your Bursars account right at the beginning of when classes start, when this money is due to Georgia Tech. The money will immediately be taken out by Georgia Tech, and the remainder value you see will be sent to you probably about a week later. And this is going to happen when the Bursar clears its balances. So you'll see that leftover money there somewhere around between $2,000 and $10,000 depending on your situation. It'll be sitting there, and then maybe a week later you'll see that the balance has gone to zero, which means the money should have gone to your account or it has been mailed to you, depending on whether you have set up your direct deposit or not. So I'm going to end this video by talking a little bit about the Bursars account and what it should be looking like right now. So in the top right, we see how much total estimated aid I should be getting, and that's the right number, $14,926. That's good. For out-of-state students, that's about $25,000 for you guys, and this is the breakdown of where the money is coming from. This is the total of how much money Georgia Tech thinks I owe it, with a breakdown of all the costs. This includes stuff like meal plans, North Avenue, apartment rates, and all the various fees that you accumulate. This number right here is the remainder term I was talking about in the previous diagram. This is how much is going to be direct deposited to me when the Bursar clears its accounts. Now, if you notice and you do the math, sometimes this number doesn't seem quite right. So for me, if I add up all of the fees that I think I should be paying from Georgia Tech's cost of attendance and subtract the total estimated aid, my number should be $2,320, not $2,270. So this is the point at which sometimes people will freak out and talk to the office and think that they need more money. They think that something has gone wrong. But if you look closely, you can see that this thing right here, Physics 2212 course fee. So this is a Physics 2 lab fee, and everyone in this class has to pay it. But this is not a mandatory fee because not all Georgia Tech students have to take it. And if they do, they're not doing it every single semester. So this fee is like a one-time fee. It's not a mandatory fee that you pay every semester. And because of this, your scholarship doesn't cover it. And for this reason, my total balance is $50 less than it seems that it should be. It's because an extra fee that's not a required fee. Sometimes these can be hard to spot because there are so many small fees that you have to pay. But if you ever think that there's something wrong and there's some discrepancy in the balance due and how much you think you should be getting back, it's always good to double check, especially in the fee section, to make sure there's not a small hidden fee there. If you you experience a major discrepancy and you've already searched through the fees and you don't believe that there's an error occurring there, you think it's somewhere else, it's always good to ask someone else who's also a scholarship student, especially people that are older than you that have seen cases like this more, and they might be able to pinpoint exactly where the money difference is coming from, but usually it's something in this. And it's always wise to check several times before you put in a request to talk to Chafee about it, because one thing that he cannot stand is when people have made mathematical errors or have had an oversight and are demanding extra money, which they shouldn't be receiving. So be very careful before you put that request into him. So I hope this video has been very informative, and if you guys have any more questions, please let me know. I'll be happy to explain it in the group meet.